Hey, what's going on everyone? Gillis TV back here with another Edmonton Oilers video, rocking the Oilers hat in this one. As the trade deadline is only a week away, the Oilers are certainly looking to upgrade their goaltending, which we'll talk about, defense, and a top 6 or top 9 forward, someone that can bring in some scoring. Now, there's been a lot of names thrown around, we'll get to that, but before we get started, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, as we are, I think it's almost 400 away from 1,000. Thank you guys for all the support. We went up plus 20 yesterday. I really appreciate everyone. Now let's get into it. Last deadline, though, Ken Holland surprised us all. Went off the radar, got Matthias Ekholm, who has been a huge help to Evan Bouchard and this Edmonton Oilers defense. And we talk about upgrading Cody Ceci. Well, around the league, it seems like the Oilers are trying to shop with one team. It was Anthony Mantha and Nick Dowd. It was Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick. Kind of getting what they need from one team instead of making more than one trade. Which made me think, could there possibly be an off-the-radar defenseman again that the Oilers could pick up? But before we get to that, I know everyone's going to say, well, we need a goaltender. Hey, I'm one of those guys, too, that we harp on the goalies every time they let in the first shot, whatnot. But if you actually look at the goals against for the Edmonton Oilers this year, they've only let in 170. There's only one team, so Seattle let in 169. The Jets have let in 139, which it's Connor Hellebuck. So you look at those realistically, and you think, we've let in the third least amount of goals this season. Even after that horrible start in October, November, we haven't let in many goals. We're just not outscoring opponents on some nights, and then our goals for and against are plus 34, which is one of the top ones in the league. Sorry about that. So yes, you can upgrade goaltending as much as you want, but there are still other needs. And like I said, off the radar trade. Now, if we go to a cap friendly here, I'm just going to load that up. Right now, we have $2.034 million in cap space. By the trade deadline, that will accumulate to $2.373 million and some extra $100 there for the salary cap. So that actually gives the Edmonton Oilers some flexibility. Now, let's go to the St. Louis Blues here for a minute. We've been talking about Pavel Buchnevich as a possible contender to come to the Edmonton Oilers. Now, in this case, it's going to have to be money in, money out, and retained salary by St. Louis, which if we go to the NHL standings, they are 7 points out of the wild card spot as the Preds and Kings hold down those wild card spots there. So come trade deadline, that's probably 2 or 3 more games for St. Louis. They might be realistically sellers at this point, depending on how those games go. So Buchnevich has carried a $5.8 million annual value salary. I would trade Warren Foegele and whatnot for that. But like I said, we're looking to upgrade multiple positions only using one team. With that extra salary cap, it actually works out that they wouldn't have to retain on Buchnevich. They can easily just go, here you go, Warren Foegele for Buchnevich and a pick and whatnot, a prospect. But we'll get down to the next one. We're trying to upgrade from Cody Ceci or Brett Kulak, who's expendable to the Oilers, I guess you could say, when it comes to money in, money out. Now, there are a couple defensemen on St. Louis that actually make some sense. And the one name that's kind of been linked to the Oilers for years now, Colton Parayko. He has term. Holland is looking for term. Both of these guys have term. Buchnevich has another year after this year. And Colton Parayko has until 2029. So that actually gives them term, gives them longer for not having to go out. And he would be a perfect piece alongside Darnell Nurse. I think Colton Parayko could be that, off the radar, in quotations, target for the Edmonton Oilers. There is, of course, Torrey Krug and stuff from there, but these two names would be more likely. Now, you're going to ask, hey, what about the salary cap? Well, with the 2.3, and of course, if you're trading for a defenseman, Cody of this caliber and this cap hit of 6.5, Cody Ceci is the odd man out. Well, between him and Warren Fogle, you got $6 million in cap right there. Yes, between Buchnevich and Colton Parayko, it comes out to 11.3. No, 12.3. So you got to make up that 6.3 somewhere. Well, you already got 2.3 in savings. So if you throw in an extra first round pick or a third team to take on some salary and retain salary, this trade could realistically work for the Edmonton Oilers. It also gives you that defensive shutdown of defensive shutdown of Colton Parayko, gives them an upgrade on defense for the Edmonton Oilers, and you also get your top 6 scorer in Buchnevich, and they have term. Holland is almost going for term now over rentals, and this trade could be actually one of those that, if you throw enough stuff in, I'm saying, of course, Cody, Ceci, Warren Fogle have to go in this trade. You got to throw in a first, you got to throw in probably a third for retained salary, and then a mid prospect, maybe Savoy, a Tulio. One of those guys could sweeten this deal to retain some salary as well. Now, if you go with a third party, we've seen a third round pick to retain salary. We've seen Carolina send a 6th to retain salary. Well, if you somehow get the Blues to do even 30% of $6.5 million, that still saves you a bunch, or 33%. That would save you 2.175, give or take, in that area of the salary cap. You get another team to do 50%. Now, all of a sudden, the Oilers are laughing. So this is just a hypothetical trade, but it also fits the motto of what Ken Holland is doing when it came to Matthias Ekholm, off the radar. When he went after, guys with term. This kind of fits it, and this also helps the Oilers just make one trade, technically two if you use a third party. But that's it for me today. We could go to Cap Friendly here quickly, and the Oilers would be in cap space. And then, of course, you got the answer for next year where, okay, if you give up Warren Fogle, you don't have to re-sign him. I don't think Matthias Janmark is coming back next year. You'll have to re-sign Dylan Holloway, which, to me is $2 million or less next year. You got to remember salary cap goes up too. Connor Brown's not going to be back. Sam Gagner is probably not going to be back. As much as I would like to see Corey Perry back, that's probably not happening. Defense, you only have, if you lose Ceci and get Parayko, you only have to re-sign Vinny Desharnais, which I don't see that over $1.5 million, and then a backup goalie. Now, another thing is, too, to save some salary cap, is trade Jack Campbell, which we've been talking for since November, and it doesn't seem like Jack Campbell's going anywhere. But, like I said in my other video, just kind of watch out. San Jose, Mackenzie Blackwood's injured. Philly's going with a bunch of rookie goalies right now. They might be interested in Jack Campbell. So we'll have to see about that. That's another way to save some cap space as well. But that's it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm on out of here.